Russian tank T90M and BTR-82 in action near Marinka, eastern Ukraine. On the outskirts of Kyiv, this astonishing moment purports to show a Ukrainian tank destroying numerous Russian armored vehicles. The clip purports to show a Ukrainian T-64 tank ambushing a convoy of Russian BTR-82 armored vehicles on a road in Nova Basin, which is located approximately 80 kilometers west of Kyiv. The footage was shot from above and uploaded on Telegram. The operator discharged multiple rounds of ammunition at the Russian convoy, which resulted in one of the BTRs catching fire. After that, the other armored vehicles began firing back at the tank. However, it looked like they were firing at targets that were not visible in the shot because streams of fire were seen traveling over fields. Despite this, the tank continued to move forward and shell the Russian forces until the artillery reinforcements came. This comes after the Secretary General of NATO issued a warning that Russian forces are preparing for a major offensive in eastern Ukraine and that NATO needs to be prepared for the long haul in response to this threat. In his opening remarks on the first day of a two-day summit of coalition foreign ministers, Jens Stoltenberg stated that discussions would center on what additional military equipment members may offer to Kyiv to assist Ukrainian troops in their fight against Kremlin invaders. According to the Secretary General, Russia is moving forces out of the north to reinforce them, to resupply them, and to rearm them, and then to move them into the east where we are expecting a major offensive. Putin's objective is to gain control over the entirety of the Donbas region. A Ukrainian ambush on a Russian armored column was captured on drone footage earlier today just outside of Brovary, which is located in the eastern suburbs of Kyiv. The expert open-source investigator Bellingcat stated that it has geolocated the video to a sparsely populated region on the E95 road approximately 35 kilometers, 22 miles, from the center of Kyiv. This location is a straight path to the east of the capital, which is where Russian forces have been attempting to mass. The Ukrainian armed forces have published an edited film that is only 45 seconds long. The video is a montage of the action that took place on the road, and it shows at least one company's worth of Russian tanks and armored vehicles coming under relentless attack. The level of effort that went into it suggests that the fight that was shot did not take place on Thursday. It also includes an audio track of what sounds like a Russian officer describing an attack to his superiors. This track is superimposed over the video. This is offered as a thoughtful perspective on the action that has been demonstrated. In addition, it was reported that the regiment's commander had been murdered. Ukrainian media identified the deceased individual as Colonel Andrei Zakharov. However, this information could not be independently confirmed. 6th Regiment has been lost, the officer reports to HQ. Regarding the 6th Regiment, I have nothing to report. I'm collecting data. Quite a few setbacks. They held out for us to arrive. The ambush was initiated by the head of the convoy. The commander of the regiment was killed in action. The video has been deemed authentic by several military analysts who have also stated that it demonstrates surprise tactics on the side of the Russian forces. The video shows more than 20 tanks and other armored vehicles on a main route that is located very near the capital. Ben Barry, a ground warfare specialist with the International Institute for Strategic Studies and a former tank commander with the British Army, said the following: "They either think they are going through a safe area, they were not well trained, or they are moving fast for some other requirement." According to Barry, tanks that are moving through an urban area should generally have close infantry support with them to prevent ambushes from the side of the road. After seeing the clip, he stated that based on the characteristics of the explosions, he believed that the Russian armor was most likely the target of artillery or mortar fire. The Russian who was allegedly reporting the ambush can be heard on the audio speculating that they may have been targeted by Turkish Bayraktar drones. However, parts of the film show conditions that are not considered optimal for drone strikes, including poor weather and low cloud cover. In other portions of the video, a TOS-1 heavy flamethrower can be seen towards the bottom of the screen. This weapon is distinctly identified with a painted O as proof of Russia's willingness to deploy thermobaric weapons during the conflict. At one point during the fighting, it fires an incendiary rocket at a target that appears to be off-frame. Rob Lee, a former U.S. Marine who is now a PhD student at King's College London, is another expert on the Russian military who saw the video and gave his opinion about it. He stated that he believed this demonstrated very poor tactics on the side of the Russians, as a force was positioned on an obvious avenue of approach. Rob Lee also reviewed the film. During the invasion, which began a little more than 2 weeks ago, Russia sustained higher casualties than were anticipated. The Ukrainian government has attempted to capitalize on the country's military victories by releasing footage showing enemy tanks being pulled by tractors or Russian tanks that have been destroyed. According to the specialized monitor Oryx, which is keeping track of losses using photographic or video proof, as of just now, 164 Russian tanks have been either destroyed, damaged, or captured. Oryx reports that there are 102 Russian armored fighting vehicles currently in service. The Ukrainian military has suffered a loss of 47 tanks and 39 other types of combat vehicles. An estimate made by the United States earlier this week stated that between 5,000 and 6,000 Russian troops and between 2,000 and 4,000 Ukrainian troops, in addition to a great number of civilians, have been slain. According to one such estimate from the United States, the two sides had each lost between 8% and 10% of the military assets that they had brought into the conflict. The conflict in Ukraine has had a profound effect on the world, and The Guardian has been there to cover every moment of it. Since the invasion, our colleagues on the ground have put their lives in danger and faced a great deal of hardship to publish more than 5,000 articles, films, and podcasts. Since the beginning of Europe's most significant war since 1945, the media has been reporting non-stop and in depth since the conflict broke out. Since our publication began 2 centuries ago, tens of millions of people have turned to the fearless journalism of The Guardian in times of crisis, uncertainty, solidarity, and hope. They turn to us when they need a sense of community and hope. We would like to extend an invitation to you to become one of the more than 1.5 million supporters from 180 countries who currently power us financially, thereby ensuring that we remain open to everyone and fiercely independent. The Guardian, in contrast to many other publications, does not have shareholders and is not owned by a billionaire. Simply the willpower and enthusiasm necessary to produce high-impact global reporting that is always independent of commercial or political influence. The establishment of the facts, including who is lying and who is telling the truth, is dependent on reporting such as this. And all of the information is freely available for anyone to read on our website. We do this because we believe that everyone should have equal access to information. A larger number of people can keep up with the events that are forming our world, comprehend the impact these events have on individuals and communities, and become motivated to take meaningful action. It is possible for millions of people, regardless of their financial circumstances, to gain by having free access to genuine high-quality news. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.